I've generated more than $6 million over the last 2 years. I've made a lot of mistakes, but also had a lot of success on my journey. I started from absolutely zero with zero knowledge and zero idea about business or dropshipping in general. And in today's video, I'll be discussing my top 5 most essential things to get success with dropshipping in 2024 and 2025. Also, just to make sure nobody's calling cap about anything, let's just go through one of my stores right now. This is one of my stores. As you can see, today is kind of bad, but it's also, we're getting close to Black Friday, so this is expected that things will be a little bit slower than usual. I'll just show you yesterday. We did 22K. The day before that, we did 22.1. And in the last 30 days, we have done just over $500,000. And this is just one of my stores. I have a lot more than that. So around $1 million a month. So just if somebody was calling cap, now you can see it's actually legit. All right, with that out of the way and no question about my credibility now, let's just get started. So the first thing is actually quite an obvious one, but I don't think a lot of people understand what it actually means. And that is hard work and dedication. And let me just explain what it actually means to work hard and actually dedicate your time to dropshipping in general. Essentially, it means that all your free time, whenever you are not at some place that you need to be, so whenever you're at home or you have like some time off at your job, say your lunch break or whatever, you do dropshipping. That's the only thing you think of at all times. So let me just explain how I did it in the beginning and how I was doing it for the first 2 years and still kind of doing it. Now I'm having a little bit more time off as I am starting to have a lot of employees and help and people to help me. So basically I was working 7 days a week for 2 years straight. I did not have a single day off for 2 full years. And in the beginning, I was still at my job. So basically what this means that is before I went to work, I would work on dropshipping. And when I got home, the first thing I would do is say, of course, hi to my family. And then after that, I would just get right back into dropshipping work until the evening. And then after that, I was reading a little bit in my books because I was doing that to build discipline in the beginning as well. And that's pretty much it. That was my days, 7 days a week. That was all I was doing. And in my lunch breaks at work and whenever I was driving to work and whenever I was doing something where I was forced to go somewhere, I would listen. In my coach's, Michael Bernstein's program, he had a lot of the pre-recorded calls because every single day in that coaching there was a group call, and all the previous 2 years group calls was pre-recorded and saved in a folder. So whenever I had to go somewhere, I would listen to those calls. I'm pretty sure in that program I'm the only guy who has listened to every single call. And then also, weekends. I think most guys have this weird feeling that dropshipping is a side hustle that you can just do in the weekends. Or every second weekend, but that's not true. Like it's every day and all time you have available, you do work on dropshipping because it's fucking hard and it's really, really hard and it's very competitive. That's the issue with dropshipping right now. There's so many trying to get success with it and there's so many people, but the only way to get better than them is work more. And most of the guys, if we're going to be completely honest, are not really working. They're just saying they're doing stuff and then they place an ad on Facebook and drive up my CPMs because they think they have a winner and then they're just wasting money on ads. And that's the most guys who starting out, and that was also me in the beginning, and that's fair because that's the beginning, but of course you need to get better than that, and that's the only way. By doing that is working harder and more than everyone else. Whenever you're not sleeping and whenever you're not somewhere you're forced to be, job example or school, you work on dropshipping and that's all you do. That's your entire identity. It's business. The only time and place you stop thinking about dropshipping is when you're sleeping, but at all other times all you think about is dropshipping. And my second essential to get success with dropshipping in 2024 basically is a longer term plan. Because if you're just like me, you think dropshipping is easy and you will make it work within a month or 2 months even. Then you will have your first winner, you will be scaling to 5-10K days. In 6 months you will be doing 20K days, and in a year you will be doing $1 million months. And let me just tell you, there is a possibility that will happen, but 99.9% guarantee this will not happen, okay? You need to understand that dropshipping is not a get-rich thing. Okay? It's basically just a fulfillment model you use to find winning products, which you then brand, and then you buy inventory, and then you will have a full-fledged e-commerce brand. So dropshipping is not the long-term plan. It's basically just a start to build a brand, and then you buy inventory, okay? It's just a cheaper way, an easier way, a more flexible way of starting an e-commerce brand. Because that's what you're doing. You're not doing dropshipping, you're doing e-commerce, and you're just using dropshipping in the beginning to fulfill until you have a brand, and then you fulfill with inventory in the country you're fulfilling from. So let's say you have a brand in the US, you will have stock in the US, or you will have stock in China, but you will use express shipping, so there's only like a 5 days delivery or whatever. That's the whole idea of it, because then you also have a sellable company, because let's face it, a dropshipping company is not worth a lot, but an e-commerce brand is worth a lot, okay? And with that said, I think you now can understand why it's not a get-rich-quick thing, okay? If you have some kind of time frame in your mind that you think, okay, within this amount of time, I will have made this amount of money, it's great. Like I also had that. My first goal was within a year I had to have made 50k profit, which was kind of an ambitious goal. Of course I beat that by a mile. I did a little bit more than 50k profit, but that's beside the point. That was my goal, and I also had to move out. I didn't do that in the first year. That took like a year and a half. But if you have a yearly plan, I would double that and give yourself 2 years. I will not double the goals, but I will double the time frame of you achieving those goals. Because the time horizon is very healthy. It keeps you motivated. It makes you understand why you're doing stuff. So it's not just one big thing of why am I actually doing this. But if you have goals you want to achieve, your mind will understand why you're pushing so hard every single day. And yeah, and then at last, why it's not a get rich quick thing and why you need to have a longer term plan. Basically, dropshipping is a volumes game, and the more you're in it and the more you do, the better you get and the more money you make. So it's very the time you put in and the money you get out is very direct. So the more you work and the more you try and understand and learn, the better you get and the more money you make. And that can only be done by time. To sum this second thing off, understand that if you start dropshipping seriously and want to make millions, you are now a business person. That is you, that's all you do. You're not just a side hustle guy who's making dropshipping in the weekend. Now you are a business person. I want you to understand that it will take time, and it can take a lot of time, because there's also a lot of other factors than in just pure work. There's also timing and luck, for sure there is. But if you just keep working and keep working hard, if you're in good health right now watching this video, just know that time is in your favor if you just keep working at it. The third thing, and I actually think this might be the most important one, just because of how many people get this wrong. Okay, I did this myself, and let me just explain how I did it. So basically, the number 3 thing is understanding what's important and what's not. If you ever think about taxes before your first sale, so if you keep researching, oh, how do I pay dropshipping taxes, what the taxes on dropshipping, what is VAT? If you do that before you've even made a sale, I'm very sorry to say this, but you're never gonna get success. It is a joke that you're probably never gonna make it. You need a massive mindset shift. You really need to try and understand what is the most important thing for your given situation, because it's very, very different compared at what stage you're at. So right now, for me, my most important thing is making my products better, building teams, and launching more products to find more winners. That's basically my priorities right now, because I have sorted everything else more or less. I have taxes in orders, I have banking in orders, cash flow, whatever. All these things are in order. So now I can only focus on these 3 things. Let me just give you a few examples so you hopefully can understand a little bit more of what I mean about this. So first things first, why would you like to know how to scale if you don't have a winning product yet? Why would you like to know how to scale a product if you don't even know how to test a product? Why would you know about tax laws if you're not making any money? Why would you worry about how to find the best supplier, fulfill your orders if you never had an order? Why would you like to know how to brand your product if you have no winning product? From this, I really hope you can understand what I mean. You should only focus on what's right in front of you and what's your next step. Knowing your next challenge and the next issue you have to overcome is probably the biggest skill you can ever get, because this is the hardest thing about business, not getting overwhelmed with all the things and all the to-dos that's coming up, but what is the next thing to drive you the most amount forward? What is the thing you can do that pushes the most amount of gas in your car so you can drive the longest? That is the next challenge you focus on. If that's finding a winning product, then you need to figure out how to find a winning product. Then it's not creating your store and building a beautiful store with a beautiful logo if you have no products to test. It's so important to understand what is the right thing for you and what is the right thing for you to do right now. Because the more right steps you take in the right direction, the clearer the path will get for you, and you will understand, oh, this is what I have to do next. This is what I have to do right now. If you do the right steps every single day, everything will be much clearer for you. You will be less stressed and you will be less overwhelmed totally. And then just round this thing off as well. Don't be worried about knowing stuff. You need to figure out what obstacle there is in front of you, and then you need to overcome them. You cannot jump over 2 walls at one time, 1 wall at a time. Okay. The fourth thing here is also a very determining factor if you will ever see any kind of success at all. Okay. And it is also very well known. I think you will probably know why this is important as well when I tell you what it is. And that is basically following the right strategy. And let me just explain. If you do the wrong stuff and you're following the right strategy, what is the chances of you getting any kind of success? No matter how much you work and how hard you work, if you're following something that's not working, yes, that is almost zero. Maybe 0.01% because there is a chance that you will get lucky, but almost guaranteed that you will never make any kind of money and you will never find a winning product. And now you might think, how do you know if the strategy you're using is the right one? And the only way I can explain this to you is by using my own example on how I figured out the right strategy. And that is basically to find somebody who can teach you. And no, now you're clicking away. I'm not selling anything. Remember that I don't have a course, I don't have a program, I don't have anything for you to pay me for. I just give out free advice on YouTube about my situation, just as I would have wanted back in the day. My recommendation is don't listen to anyone or everyone. Listen to that specific someone, okay? And that was probably a little cringe, but I thought that sounded really cool and it really explained the situation in full detail. What I did and what I think you should do as well is find the right person and then you trust that person with everything you can, okay? Of course, this person you find needs to be legit, and I'll explain in a second on how you can determine if somebody is legit, because there's a lot of scammers out there. I'm gonna be the first guy on YouTube to say that 80% of all the guys you're watching with ecom, if not a full scam, very close to what you would call a scam. It's very, very close. It's a fine line of what you can directly call a scam and what you can call, what is the next thing to a scam that's not a scam. But whatever, you probably get the point what I'm saying. So the only way to determine if somebody is legit, so if you find that person, I'm going to explain in a second again how you actually determine if they are legit. You need to follow every single thing they say, okay? What I did is I found my guy and I trusted every single word that he ever told me to the teeth. And also the other coaches he had, I trusted every single word they told me. Like, I would never question a thing. I would never think twice. Whatever they told me, I implemented right away or tested right away. You need to be doing that as well. Find that person for you and trust everything they say. This will make everything less blurry again and the path more clear again. So how can you determine if somebody is legit? Well, there's 2 ways of doing this. So first thing is if they are making YouTube videos about their own results, but not only their own results, but actually showing every single thing in detail. So let's say some Facebook guy who's selling a course, right? If he's just showing you a dashboard, you can't trust that. I'm very sorry. You can't trust that dashboard because it's very easy to fake a $1 million dashboard. I'm telling you right now. I could make between 5 and 10 brand new stores, scale them to $1 million, maybe lose, let's say 10 to 30K. But then those 10 to 30K would be generated so much more profit back by selling my course if I had a course, right? With the $1 million screenshots. So let's say some guy who's scaling 5 stores up and he has 5 different stores, which does $1 million a year, and he loses maybe, let's say 100 grand on those 5 stores, but he's selling, I don't know how many, 200 grand worth of courses a month, then those 100 grand is nothing, right? So if they are doing Facebook, you need them to show them every single thing. So that means a TrueWell dashboard, ideally, that's the best thing to show that you are legit. Other things can be fake, but TrueWell is a little bit more, I think in my opinion, I trust a little bit more when I see a TrueWell dashboard. But it's still very, very hard when it's Facebook and just showing dashboards in general. So the best thing, and this is how I picked as well personally, is if the person has case studies on their YouTube channel. And this is by far the most underrated thing. Okay, I don't even get how somebody who don't have case studies in their YouTube channel can sell a course. Because sure, they can sell you on their lifestyle and what they're doing, but if they don't have case studies, how can you ever know if it's actually working or if they're just making money from their course? So what I would do personally is I would find YouTube channels that has, I would say minimum 10 case studies at bare minimum, and the more the better, of course. And the only guy which I'm aware of who's actually actively posting case studies, who has been doing it for years as well, is the guy I chose to teach me, who is Michael Bernstein. You probably all know him. He's a very massive figure in the dropshipping space. He was also my coach back in the day and still is. I'm still in very much contact with him in his program. and he's still helping me out with my stores to this day. And he's the only guy which I felt generally was legit back when I picked in 2022, because back then he was the only guy at all who had a case study on his YouTube channel. Nobody else on YouTube has a case study. And I'm not saying that the program don't work, but I'm just saying maybe you should question it, because the best advertising is somebody who's getting success from what you're selling. So I would just think twice sometimes. That's the only recommendation I give. So if they go very deep in detail, and if they have case studies in the YouTube channel, I would say that is a very good sign that they are legit. So to round this thing off, find one person who you can trust that will teach you the right strategy, either by a paid course or by their YouTube videos, whatever, and then follow that strategy until it works. Do not switch, do not try something else, do not go from organic to paid ads to organic to TikTok ads to Facebook ads. Do one thing only, do it until it works, and when it works, you can start branching out on other stuff. Fifth thing, and the final thing, and which is, in my opinion, one of the main reasons why I got success so fast and such insane success so fast, and that is find an accountability partner or a business partner. Take it from my story. I did every single thing together with my little brother. For the first 12 months or so, even though it was his idea to start this whole thing, he was not motivated at all. Like, he was very lazy and he was not willing to put in the work. We had an argument and I was like, bro, just do 1 hour of product research every single day. That's more than enough. I'll do the rest. And that he couldn't even do. So he was very lazy in the beginning, but we then did it so he was, instead of my business partner in the beginning, he was just my accountability partner. So we were just speaking every single day about what I did the given day, how much I improved and how much I learned, and did I do everything that I set out to do. That was basically what he was doing for the first 12 months. He was just keeping track of me. And then whenever he joined Michael's program and did organic, when I was doing Facebook, organic really started to take off, but I was making money with Facebook. So I couldn't just switch. That would be a bad business idea, right? My brother had just finished school, so he could just start doing organic full time, and that he did. And he proved to me that he was a beast. He was really the working man. I think in 6 months, he maybe did 100K profit or something like that. He did a quite good numbers, actually. He made good money, not better than on Facebook. So after 6 months, and he had proved to me that he was actually the man organic, and he also had a lot of money, I actually gave him 50% of my company. Not only did he make 100 grand, he then became a millionaire the day after, because I was so proud of him. And he proved to me that he was actually hardworking. And he joined me on Facebook. And basically the story is we pretty much, he joined right after organic. He was really good at dropshipping. He had a different view on things that I had. So when he joined, we basically went from, in 2 months, from 300K to $1 million a month, just by him adding his twist to things and products in general. So my best suggestion is to you, if you have a family member or a really, really, really good friend that you almost feel like a brother or sister to you, try and take them along if you have the same mindset, because you cannot convince them. That's one thing. You shouldn't try and drag them into it like I did. That was kind of rough on our relationship in the beginning, but it went around at some point, but it could also have gone the wrong way. But if you have the same mindset, there's nothing more powerful than a really, really tight friendship or brotherhood or sisterhood to make this more possible, because you can keep each other accountable. You can make sure each other works. You can make sure you are working harder, longer, and for more hours in general. And it's just more fun to share it with somebody that you love and you trust. So that's my biggest recommendation, and that's my #1 thing to get success in dropshipping. These are my 5 essentials to make dropshipping work in 2024 and 2025. It only gets more and more important to have all these things in order, because dropshipping is only getting more competitive. It's only getting harder. But if you push through and actually work hard with the right things in the right order, you will make this work. If you're now thinking about if I have a course or if I sell some kind of mentorship, I do not. But if you are interested, I will leave a link to my coach's YouTube channel in the description. You can reach out to him, get a call with him, whatever, if that mentorship that I joined is something for you. And besides that, if you want to learn more about dropshipping for free on this channel, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button. Best of luck, and I see you soon.